So, g'day, Jay. You're one of the most successful barbers in this part of the world. And I'm just curious about whether you think of yourself as a barber or an entrepreneur or both.
Peter, that's a huge call saying the most or one of the most successful in this part of the world. There's many good barbers out there, but the barbering journey that I've had, it's been a mix of everything. It's been
Yeah,
a
yeah.
mix of cutting hair. I've always sort of worked for myself, so I've had to be an entrepreneur and then had a business. And I definitely think the hardest part is everything outside of cutting hair, the entrepreneurial part.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because I guess a lot of small businesses think, okay, my job is to be great at whatever my business is, like a great barber or a
Yeah,
great butcher or whatever
yeah,
a great tradesman. But
yeah.
in fact, you can be awesome. But if no one knows how awesome you are, you're not going to make any money, right?
It's so true. It's so true. Like you get really good at the skill. That's what happened to me. And then, yeah, you've got to be able to market and advertise and learn social media and learn Google Ads. It's very, very difficult. As a small business owner, you've got to put on so many hats. I've got a mad respect for small business owners after my journey.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So when did it start for you? When did you first fall in love with barbering?
Barbering was about 5 years ago, maybe, yeah, maybe a little bit longer. But I actually started getting my hair cut when I was 14, working at
Yeah,
Woolies in the
yeah,
deli every week or every 2 weeks. And that lasted until I was like, I don't know, until I got into barbering. So when I entered the industry, I
yeah,
knew what
yeah.
a good haircut was. I knew what the culture was. I didn't know anything about running a little barber shop. That was something that I lost sleep over.
Yeah, well,
But it started very, very early on, and I was getting the trendy haircuts, and I was growing with my barber. I don't know. I just picked up clippers one day, and I was half decent at it. Better than I was at power tools. I was horrible at power tools,
what
but
you
better
were
at
thinking of
clippers.
doing a trade, were you? At one
Oh, I
stage?
thought of it. I was going to buy a fishing charter boat. I wanted to go on radio. I wanted to do a trade. I bought
Yeah,
all
yeah,
the Makita tools. Didn't want
yeah,
to
yeah.
buy the cheapest ones. Didn't want to buy the Milwaukee ones, and just no good at it, Peter. So then I picked up some clippers and then I learned how to cut hair.
Right. So how did you learn? Did you go to like TAFE or something like that, or a school?
Eventually, I did. Eventually, I did. But a
Yeah,
lot of it at the beginning was because I didn't know whether I liked it or not. So I did a little introduction to barbering course, and yeah, with the school on the Gold Coast, and the guy was like, "Oh, you've got some talent, Jay." And then I bought some tools. I spent a few $1,000s on tools at that point, and I
yeah, yeah,
started watching some online videos and whatnot. And I started paying barbers $100 an hour to teach me, and I got better and better and better. Yeah, back then, years ago, which is crazy. I
yeah,
found the coolest barbers who I thought in the Gold Coast, anyways.
yeah, yeah.
And then, yeah, eventually I got really, really good at the skill, and I thought, oh, I better go and get a qualification. So that's when I went to finish my barber qualification at TAFE and got accredited, and the story goes on from there. Yep.
I'm just trying to think of an equivalent location because for people that don't know Australia, the Gold Coast would
Yeah.
be maybe like what Florida is in the US. It's like very surfy, beachy, or maybe more California. What do you think it's more like? You think like
Yeah, I
international?
think I've been to all of those places in the US, and I definitely think it's more like Florida. That's for
Yeah.
sure. But in the Gold Coast, you could walk around on a Tuesday at midday and it'll be busy. You'll be thinking to yourself, do people work here or do they go to the beach?
It's also a very popular holiday place, right? There's a lot of people go there in Australia for holidays.
Holiday. So I live in the southern part of the Gold Coast. So it's not like when tourists think about the Gold Coast, they think Surfers Paradise, Broad Beach. Those are two common names that people might have heard. But I live like 30 minutes south of that. So it's still holiday, but not as much holiday. But the streets are always busy
Yeah.
and everybody's out at 5 a.m. working out on the beach. And I actually do very limited hours in my studio on the weekend. I just do maybe a few haircuts and I'm busy through the week because people make, I don't know, it's just how it
Yeah.
is here. People just make the time to come for a haircut.
Yeah. So so you're working in retail, you think,
Hmm.
"I'm no good with the tools. I bought a lot, but I'm not good at them." And you started
Hmm.
thinking, "Well, maybe barbering's the thing for me." What was the thing you say, "I really love this," like, there's a part of it that you really love. What would that be for you?
I think it was just, I was actually in the finance world for a long time. That's another story for another day. But I
Yeah,
would talk to people about their retirement and I thought, what a cool way to spend retirement. Sitting around with your mates, cutting their hair, having a beer, maybe, maybe not, looking at the transformation. So it's immediate transformation when you cut people's hair, you blow their mind. That was the thing that really attracted me. It was like something that I could do in retirement and I could be social and I could do haircuts and but then I was like, why not do it now?
I guess cutting the hair if they're retired, there wouldn't be much hair to cut, right?
There wouldn't be much hair, but the whole barbershop thing where you're sitting down, hanging out together,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
being an old dude, reading the Gold Coast Bulletin or whatever newspaper you want to read, the New York Times, and just the
yeah,
social aspect of it.
yeah,
I just
yeah.
thought, what's cooler than this in aircon?
Yeah, it is. I mean, one of my earliest memories of being with my dad was when we would go to the barber
Yep.
together. That was probably, I don't know, I was
Mm,
maybe 6 or 7 when I first went to the barber shop with him, and then it was
well,
very much a very much a man's
yes,
culture, and all the men knew each other, and all there was probably 3 or 4
yes,
barbers operating in the shop then, and it was I really loved it. I didn't realize like, I got a bit older,
yeah,
I
it's
loved it so much. It
great.
felt like
Yeah,
a really great atmosphere,
cool.
a real politically correct man's place, if you like.
Yes, exactly. And there's so many things that, you'll pick up from a person sitting on the chair or the person waiting for a haircut, and the client will learn something from the person that's waiting, and the person that's waiting will learn something from the barber, and you become a community person, which I think I didn't know that that was a thing with small business like this, where you
Yeah,
walk on the street and you see your clients and
yeah,
you all become friends. I think it's great. Well, friends, yeah. You're
yeah,
not
yeah.
hanging out after work. Really, like if you see each other in public, it's awesome. Yeah,
Friendly, because I guess it's a fairly personal thing to do, isn't it? Like to trust someone with a haircut. It's a lot of trust involved, don't you think?
it's huge. It's huge. It like actually makes you feel better. Even with me, even when I get a haircut, it makes me feel
Yeah, yeah,
better after
you do.
getting the haircut.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
feel fresh, you feel more confident.
yeah,
It's those things that that I really like. And then when after a few years of cutting hair, you become really good at it. And then you cut people's hair like new clients and you really provide a transformation or you really boost their confidence with your skill. And it's just I think that's one of the best things in barbering when you
yeah.
get good and you can make someone stay with a haircut, which is awesome.
Can you think of a time when that happened, Jay? Like, when you think,
It's all it's happening all the time now because when I had the salon, I generally have the same clients that rebook. So I've got the same book of clients and the
yeah,
same
yeah,
people you hang out with. But when I moved to the private studio, some of those clients didn't come with me because they want to stay at the salon because of location. And I had a few more hours. I opened up my availability. So now I'm getting a whole lot of new clients. Last week I got 5 new clients. And all of them you get that feeling that wow, Jay, that was a cool haircut.
yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah,
they've had a few barbers where, maybe they didn't just hit the mark of what they were asking, or they went to a barber shop that was not suited to them, and you
yeah.
provide that experience almost to every new client, which I think, yeah, it's awesome. It makes your day as a barber. Makes you feel good.
What's the biggest transformation you've seen in someone? Like going,
Mate, I've had huge, huge like 6 years of not cutting their hair, and then they go for a short haircut and they ask you for a fade and you're like, maybe we should do maybe a classic short
what, 6
haircut
years,
before you go.
6
Six
years with
years, yeah.
no haircut?
Well, their hair is down to their shoulders or past that,
Wow,
and
wow.
and then they come into you and they're like, I'm ready for a transformation. And I'm pretty sure one of the first videos on my social media would have this exact transformation. And that's huge. I mean, you always get people that kind of neglect their hair. And yeah, it's not my normal client. My normal client base are the people that are getting it regularly. But
Yeah.
you do get the ones that are like that, exactly that.
That takes a lot of trust, doesn't it? Like, if I haven't had a haircut for 6 years, I'm gonna have, like, very long,
Mate.
probably, like, probably non-healthy hair if it's been 6 years
Well,
cut.
some people, some blokes really look after their hair. Some people are like brushing it and doing the treatments and it looks beautiful and then they want to get it cut. I think you got to be careful as a barber at that point. You like really got to ask the client those questions to
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
do you really want to cut your hair or have you gone through something in your life right now
yeah,
and
yeah.
you're going to regret it at the end?
Or does your partner want you to cut your hair, or is
Or
this
does your
what you
partner
want?
want you to cut your hair?
Yeah,
Yes. Is this
yeah. Well,
really what you want? Sometimes it is, but most of the time it isn't. Yeah.
So you learnt the trade first. You're a young guy.
Yeah.
You learn the trade,
Thank you, Peter. I'm not
and,
very young these days, but yes,
but I'm imagining like you love it. You love
I love it.
being you love it, and then you think, if I'm going to grow, if I'm going to keep this chair full, because basically your business is keeping chairs full, right? You don't want an empty
True.
chair.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. You got to
Got to
keep
keep the
those
full
chairs
chair. So,
spinning. Yeah.
so you start thinking about, oh well, I have to start thinking about how I promote the business.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think social media has been a big thing.
So what tell me about how that worked for you, because I'm imagining you didn't have any experience in social media, or very little.
Well, I didn't grow up with social media. I'm sure like a lot of your listeners haven't grown up with social media.
Yeah,
It's all pretty new to this generation. And I had a little bit of experience, like, just uploading a photo was probably as far as it went. And I did do a few like videos, like one or two very, very long time ago. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. Then, yeah, when I got into barbering, it was a real creative space. And I sort of found that because I watched a lot of online content, I was like, I love this. Maybe I
okay.
could try and record something and see what it's about. And I just didn't like, I love it. I love creating content now, but I just didn't realize
Didn't realize.
how much there is to it and how difficult it is and how
Yeah, yeah,
consistent you have to be. And I started like filming horrible videos, of course, with
yeah,
terrible
yeah,
lighting.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I guess it's just trial and error where you get better and better and better. And
yeah,
I'm still learning. I'm still learning. Like, I'm still learning. But that journey started by building up the courage to post the first video on Instagram.
yeah.
It's like, what are people going to think about me? What are they going to say?
I
But
know
who
it's
cares,
it's scary,
Who
isn't it? It's
cares?
really scary. I think everyone's first content is always pretty bad, so it's
It's
hard to
rubbish.
encourage, but you've got to do it badly before you do it well, right? Because that's the only way to learn. Bit like,
So
say,
true.
swimming. You can't learn to swim by not swimming. You can only learn to
It's
swim by
true.
swimming, right? You've got to actually get in the water
It's
and
so true.
and
Time in the water.
time in the water. Yeah, that's it. 'Cause, well, I've been our listeners know that I love swimming in the ocean most mornings of the week, and the only way
Yes.
you learn to swim is by doing it. You can't learn by not doing it. And,
Yes, I agree.
it's the same with social media. You've just got to pick a way. In your case, you picked the Insta. Was there a reason you picked Instagram? Did you just like Instagram, or you think that worked best for barbering, or how did that work?
I actually looking back at it, probably my generation is Facebook, maybe. I think there's probably more people in their mid 30s on Facebook. And then slowly that transitioned to Instagram. And I liked Instagram because it was like back in the day, not that long ago, but it was the beautiful photos. And
Yeah,
I would see the beautiful photos of haircuts. And then slowly it sort of transformed into the reels. And I don't know, I just picked Instagram. I thought that the cool barbers were on Instagram and I wanted to be on Instagram one day.
fair enough. You're a
So
cool
that's
barber.
how
Yeah,
yeah, thank you, Peter. I'm trying a little bit. But
yeah.
yeah, I posted on Instagram and I kept posting on Instagram and I kept posting. But now I need to probably do more Facebook and LinkedIn. But I post on Instagram, I post on TikTok, I post on YouTube Shorts. But it all started with Instagram. Yep,
Okay,
yep.
okay. And you started what you thought, "I'll just take a photo." What did you do? Was it before and after photos? Was that how it worked, or was it just the after photos, or
Yeah,
what were you posting back in the early days?
I think it was just photos back in the day, but that very quickly changed. I had very limited experience in even taking good photos. And I didn't grow up, I look at my wife now and she takes the good selfies, with the good lighting. I'm not inclined to do. I don't know what or how I look good or how I not look. So that's all strange to me.
Or
Anyways, when I turn the camera on to record the video, I feel like I felt like that's where my place is, like
okay,
talking to the camera, I guess.
okay.
Yeah.
Talking to the camera, and you're talking, is your message primarily about transformation when you're
It
making.
started at transformations. It started at consultation with the client. Like, you come in, I ask you what you want, and then we do the haircut, and then you get the before, and then you get the after. Boom, done. Built a lot of confidence for clients. But now, yeah, I do everything now. I just have a bit of fun with it. It's almost like a game to me.
Yeah, yeah.
I just do what I give business updates. I do transformations. I do haircuts. I've been doing like I don't know, silly things like memes. I've been doing memes.
What
Some
what
of
barb
those
what barber means.
barber memes. Yeah, barber memes. And some of those videos are getting 100,000 views and thousands of shares. Because you will see in barbering, and I'm sure it's like this in other service-based environments where they're just displaying the product, displaying the product. You're just seeing the haircut, you're just seeing the haircut, or you're just seeing the food, you're just seeing the food, you're just seeing the food. And I was kind of like that, but I think people want to know they want to know like who you are and what did you
Yeah,
find
yeah,
funny
yeah,
and
yeah,
what
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
when they sit in your chair, they want to know, oh, who is that barber?
Who
Who
is
is
they
Jay?
they
Yeah.
wanna know Jay. I guess they also wanna know the story of the people sitting in the chair, right?
Yeah, they want to
Or
know that.
like
Yeah.
and you mentioned an interesting word earlier about how they're feeling. They're feeling they feel different. I guess not just a
Mm,
haircut. I'm sure I talk to my daughters and my wife about when they get their haircut or they get their coloured or cut or whatever
mm,
it might be.
yeah.
They come back feeling a lot more confident in themselves. So it's
Yes.
not really a haircut, it's more like feeling better about yourself. It's interesting sort of when you say transformation. So
Mm,
it's like
mm,
and for guys, it's a little bit more challenging because we're not so used to spending a lot of time on ourselves in
mm.
terms of looking better.
So true.
It
So true.
we don't I mean, women are more comfortable doing that, which is great. Guys
Mm,
aren't as
mm.
comfortable. Do you find that
Yeah,
too?
I agree.
Yeah.
I 100% find that. And what you will find, like in our industry, barbering, is sometimes that guy coming to get a haircut, 30-minute haircut, 40-minute, 1 hour, whatever service they book in. It might be the only time maybe that month or in the 2 months that they've actually spent doing something for
For
themselves, you know?
themselves, exactly.
It might be. And they say it sometimes. They're like, oh Jay, this has been a really great experience. A lot of
Yeah,
people
yeah.
say experience because we don't do it like these days. I every month or every 2 months I go and watch a movie by myself. That's a weird thing at the cinema. I love it, but a lot of people don't do that. You get caught up with your family, work,
Yeah,
whatever else you need to deal with. So yeah,
yeah,
more people should do it. More people should go find a cool space and then do
yeah.
something an hour. Yeah.
But particularly for the guys, because I think it's
Mm.
almost a mental health. The
Oh,
barber I go
nice.
to, I think there's 4 guys in the shop altogether,
Mm.
and
Mm.
they're all bantering with each other, and when you walk
Yeah,
in, you can feel that conversation.
good energy.
There's good energy, there's some sport playing, th they
Mm.
sort of they're talking to people waiting and the people that are in the chair, and it just feels really, like, uplifting from the moment you get in there. You feel great, and you always walk out feeling great. It's
Yeah, you're
it's
like, that's cool. Yeah.
because it's the only time I mean, I'm probably doing it maybe once a month, once every 5 weeks. The only time I'm actually spending
Mm.
time for myself, really, that other 5 weeks. And I'm sure those guys, all the other guys going into a barbershop in exactly the same situation. They haven't got like a routine. That's one thing women do really, really well is that self-care, whereas us guys don't do it as well, do we?
No, we don't. We don't. And that's yeah, it's a good experience that you're having. And not all barbershops are like that, Peter. You're going to a good barbershop where they're communicating well with their clients and they're
Yeah,
including everybody in their experience. Even though you're waiting, they're chatting with you and
yeah,
they're
yeah,
getting
yeah.
your opinion on, and I know you like NRL, they're getting your opinion on NRL.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're talking football, and we like that. There's like a little bit of trash talking and shit talking about different
Yeah, a bit of
teams.
banter. Yeah.
Banter, that's more friendly, and there's always a topic, like the last time I was in my barber shop, the topic was, car leases, and like, half the
Perfect.
guys were
Perfect.
saying
Very
it's a
controversial.
rip-off, other people were saying it's great, different sorts of
Yeah.
cars, it became like a car conversation.
Amazing.
Half the guys were, like, into old school cars, other guys didn't care.
Yeah.
It was like an
They didn't care. It's cool.
interesting
It's
chat to
cool.
have. Yeah, yeah. But which
And you
is
learn so much, you get different people's opinions. Fantastic.
you would learn a lot too, Joe, imagine sitting in that I mean, doing what you are, I mean, guys sitting in the chair. I'm sure you learn a lot from the people that you're meeting too, because it's a fairly, intimate, if I can use that word, environment, isn't it?
With the amount of things that I've learned, Peter, huge. I've even learned how to reseat my tap. I was about to change my whole bathroom because
Yeah.
my tap was leaking, and no matter what type of washer I would put in there, it just would never stop leaking. And one of the clients was like, "You just buy this tool from Bunnings and you screw it in." And he gave me the whole rundown. I went that day, bought it, put the washer in after I did don't know, I think it's reseating, and perfect till today, years later.
What wow, there you go, there you go. So if I can cycle back to your, like, so you're you're learning barbering, you love it, you start
Hmm.
posting on Instagram. Tell me about that
Hmm.
journey from, like, that original embarrassing posts to
Oh,
to to where you are now with hundreds of thousands of views on Instagram. Tell me, like,
Mm,
what were
mm,
the
mm,
major
mm.
milestones for you on that journey?
I think it was the journey itself was actually it was hard for me because I knew what a good haircut looked like, right? I've been getting my haircut every week since I was 14 or every 2 weeks.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then I'm seeing these beautiful content creators doing these beautiful haircuts that I like, but my skill wasn't there
Ah,
to do that. Yeah. Man, so the embarrassment was like probably a little bit worse at the beginning for me because I
oh,
know what a beautiful haircut is. So then to build up the courage to post was like, okay, it took
yeah,
it took a little bit, but when you post that first video and people and then you keep posting and you see people supporting you and your community building around you, it slowly grows, a few percent a month, a few percent a month, and you slowly have to ramp it up. There were times where I dropped off in posting videos just because I wasn't.
yeah. What would you recommend, Jay? What would you'd say? So you're originally or initially you were posting how often? You're posting what? Once a day, once a week?
No, probably like originally was like once a week. I don't know, once every 2 weeks. I tried once a week, not very often, just once a week. And I
Yeah,
kept
yeah,
trying to build up. But what you very quickly realize now, looking back at that, is that if you post once a week, you've only got 52 posts at the end of the year. The chances of one of those posts
yeah, yeah. That's
going off is very, very slim. And you think that you're doing a great job, but I just don't think that you've given yourself, like I gave myself the chance to go into that flow state of like
yeah,
developing content where it's just coming to you.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I did once a week. Yeah, I did once a week. And then I just tried to do that consistently, which was great. It built up a few posts on my page. I would do the stories, but I was a bit worried. What am I sharing on my stories? And then, yeah, if we fast forward, I did 1 month where I posted every day,
So
and the
how far
results
down
that I saw,
so how far down the track was
years,
that? You
years,
do
maybe a year,
a
2 years.
year of every week, so basically 50 posts a year,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
And then you
rubbish.
thought, I'm gonna post every day."
I don't know what happened. I just decided I need because I dropped off. We'd gone overseas and we'd done this and we'd done that, and I sort of lost motivation. And then the good thing about the algorithm is once you get motivation again, it shares your. It like I don't know, you just build up very very quickly. So then I posted every day, maybe a year or two later, say a year and a half, and I saw massive results.
Oh,
I was like, wow. I posted a reel every day. That was hard work. That was insanely hard work. And
yeah.
so I post these reels every day, and all of a sudden, I got 28,000 views on my Instagram account organically, no paid ads in
Wow.
1 month, which was huge. Which was huge.
28,000 views
It was
in a month.
in a month on the page, which
Wow,
really
wow.
drove like traffic, and that was just from posting those reels. And I wasn't, yeah, I was just posting reels, just original content that I recorded. Yeah, all on my phone, everything done on my
And
phone.
on your phone, I was gonna ask you what were you using, just your phone? Were these reels like, before and after reels or
Yeah, before and after reels. I think there was some talking head videos giving some tips to clients about styling their hair and what products I was using and the money that you invest in tools and just trying to there was some late nights, there was some late nights editing, but I just did everything on my phone and it was an old phone. It was even till today, I use iPhone 14 Pro Max.
yeah.
I think the new iPhone is I would love to get a really good camera one day. That's the next step. But it was a much older phone than that and the content was just yeah, it was just getting shared out. Yeah.
And how are you editing those, Jay? On your phone?
On my phone, but I use still to today, I started off with the free version of CapCut, which is
Yep.
like AI software for editing. And I use CapCut. And then eventually I decided to pay for CapCut because I saw the other content creators using the cool captions and
Yeah.
all of this. So I still pay for CapCut these. I don't edit on the phone anymore. Sometimes when I'm making like a silly real what meme, if I'm making a silly meme or something on TikTok, I will just quickly edit it on the phone and post it.
Yeah.
But these days I use CapCut Pro and I use that on the I'm talking to you on an iPad now, but I use it on a MacBook Air.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. I think it runs
Mm.
the same way no matter what platform you're on, CapCut. I think it runs the same on iPad and PC. I think it's pretty much the same, isn't it?
It's all the same. I definitely think that you can get away with it on your phone. Like you do not need special software or a
No,
MacBook
no,
or anything
no,
like that.
no.
Absolutely not. It's so simple. Like it's so simple to
Yeah.
use. I just thought I want to elevate my content creation. I want to try the MacBook, which has hurt my brain, and I want to be able to use all the shortcuts on the MacBook. And I have my iPad there to design, and I copy things into the MacBook. But it doesn't need to be like it definitely does not need to be like
No,
that.
I mean, all you
No.
need is your phone, and there's plenty of free, even without getting to CapCut, there's plenty of free video
Oh,
editors
well,
you can download to your phone, or you could just use
the free version of CapCut.
yeah, the free version, or use the editing tools in Instagram or in TikTok or whatever
Oh,
platform.
well,
You can edit in the platform itself. So, and when you're
it's so
starting out,
true.
you don't want a complicated platform anyway, because that's one more thing that's going
No,
to stop you from posting because you're thinking, how am I going to use this tool?
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's exactly what happened to me when I changed to the computer. I'm like delaying my post because I'm like, oh, my brain's really gonna hurt trying to
Yeah.
figure out what button to press and whatnot. And all the software, lots of softwares, just like you said, just have free versions where you just edit. Instagram has edits now. I think just recently Instagram edits,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
use
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
sometime,
Yeah.
and it's all free.
Yeah. And there's a great free phone editing app called KineMaster, INE Master. You can
Perfect.
use that. You use that, and you can make it any size you
Mm,
want, and you can add music. You can do all those bits and upload it to whatever platform you want.
oh, it's
I use that a
amazing.
lot. I mean, I can just sit there watching football, and I can do bit of
Edit the
editing.
video.
I edit maybe,
So true.
maybe takes me 10 minutes, and I'm not a particularly gifted technical guy. You don't need all that. The great thing I've noticed over the past maybe, say, 4 or 5 years, Joe, maybe you've noticed this too, is that you're
Mm,
allowed to have low production values. Like back maybe, say, 5 or 6 years ago, all the Instagram posts were very highly stylized and
beautiful.
beautifully shot and all the right lighting. But now it's almost like people don't watch that. They'll like more raw, authentic content, don't they?
I 100% agree with that, which has made content creation a little bit easier
Easier. Yeah, exactly.
for us normal people that are trying to create content on
Yeah, yeah,
online, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah.
And we don't have this we're not going to the professional studio with the professional videographer with the 10 grand camera and the 5 grand lens and the
And all the steps
yeah,
of
yeah. Or
field and all these
it
special
would be
lights.
the yes, the special lights and or it would be the other way around, right? It would be the 5 grand camera and the 10 grand lens, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. The expensive bit's the lens. The camera's the least expensive part. But
Yes, I think
there's also
so.
great apps you get
Mm,
in your phone like Blackmagic, which help you, like,
yeah,
put your camera your phone more into a camera. So you can do that, but you don't need to, because right now,
you don't need to
it's
do
funny
it.
really actually calling it a phone, because I would say I use my
Mm,
phone the least
mm.
as a phone of anything else I use it for. I use it to check weather
Yeah,
conditions, surf
I agree.
conditions.
I
I use it
agree.
as a
I
camera.
agree.
I use ChatGPT. There's so many things I use it
Yeah,
for
everything.
than just a phone. It's more everything else.
Mm,
The phone's probably
mm.
the 10 minutes a day on that piece.
I've think about when was the last time you had a other than when we speak, but when was the last time you had a call? Well, for me, it's very. I'm always just sending a DM or I'm sending
You got one
a
from me this
message.
afternoon, right?
I know exactly. That's what I was saying. Other than when we talk, yeah, it's very. I'm calling my wife about whether I should buy milk or or bread. But other
Oh,
than
yeah, that one too. Do we need milk? What do we need on the way home? Yeah,
yes,
I get that.
exactly.
That's more a text. I prefer getting a text. I won't forget a
True,
text, but a phone
true,
call
true, true.
I can forget. So you started with a year or two of
One a
like
week.
once a week, then you go
Yep.
every day, and then when you say explode, what does explode mean? It went from what, from a few hundred to a few thousand? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of followers through different events and things that I attended. And it's only been recently where posts have been generating a lot of followers. Like I did a post the other day that generated like 100 followers or something, which is huge for my account, which
Yeah.
is massive. But back then it was more like getting yourself out there instead of using business cards. I did use business cards very early on, but I share my social media details now. So if you want to book an appointment, you book it through social media or you book it through
Ah,
Google.
okay. So if I book a haircut with Jay, you'll give me your Insta
Mm,
to book it through.
exactly, exactly. Yep. You'll get an Instagram link or you'll get the booking link and everything is all done digitally. And then then I got my client's Instagram and then I take a photo of them, I share it on my page. They reshare the post because they're
Ah,
tagged and they love the haircut. and then it's all of a sudden in their social circle, and then I'm getting followers from their friends, and their friends are coming for haircuts, and I guess that's really how it grows. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
you just got to be consistent. I think that's the hardest thing is just flowing.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess I have the same thing because with buddies, I'm posting or I'm recording a post almost every day, right? And
Yeah, huge, huge amount of work.
we also have a like this podcast that will get edited down into shorts as well. So we have a lot
Yeah,
of
little.
content to post, which is great. But sometimes when I'm making my posts, I'm thinking every day, I'm thinking, what am I going to post about today?
Yes.
Because it can't be too much the same, particularly in your business.
No.
It can't be the same
Yes.
every day. There's gonna be something you're
People get
talking
bored
about.
with that. Yeah. So true. So true. But eventually, I actually now I'm in the flow state, right? So I'm just editing and I'm making content. But what I did do, and what
Yeah,
I still do sometimes, is when I get an idea that pops into my head whenever I'm doing something, I'm swimming with my son or something. I'll get out of the pool and I'll quickly write it down on my notepad
yeah,
on
yeah.
the iPhone. And I quickly just like, and then if I'm stuck for ideas or I've got a mental block, I always refer back to that and say, oh, I could make that, I could make that, I could make that.
Oh, yeah, so you take I do that on my phone. I the notes app on my
Yeah.
phone. I'll just record,
Yes, exactly.
like, post ideas. Yeah.
Yeah. And then is you make your content calendar through that, and then
Yeah,
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 you just
exactly.
roll with that.
Oth
Yeah.
although, I mean, you talk about taking your son for a spin, but I find when I make my best content is when I'm walking my puppy. Like, I walk my puppy most afternoons, about
Perfect.
5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, down at the
Yeah.
beach, and I
Yep.
just for some reason, I'm at the beach, I feel relaxed, I'm with my puppy, I'm taking her for a walk,
Mm,
and for
mm,
some reason,
mm,
that's where my mind is it's
mm,
also a beautiful setting down at the beach. The
mm,
sun's setting,
mm.
it's a lovely place to record content, and for some reason, my brain
Amazing.
seems to work then. Think
Flow
of some
state.
ideas.
That's what it is. Yeah. It's
Getting
so
into
good.
flow.
It's so good.
That flow, like when you
Yeah.
just feel like this is an idea, and sometimes you
Yeah.
think, "Well, that was good," other days it's not so good, but at least it's because the interesting thing is like Instagram, all the platforms have an algorithm, and it's all about
Mm,
time on platform. So Instagram wants to keep people on Instagram, right? So if
mm,
you're making
mm,
content people are watching and they're sharing,
mm.
Instagram will like you. The algorithm will like
It's
you,
so
Jay,
true.
because you're making good content to get people on Instagram. See, the people say, "Oh, the algorithm's a mystery." It's not really a mystery. The algorithm is people that wanna watch content. That's what it is. So, I'm imagining most of
It's so true.
your views would be guys, right? Guys interested in haircuts. Or maybe women too, encouraging their partners to get a great haircut too.
Yeah, I think it's mainly men, probably 75% men, 25% women, and that's what it would be. It would be them sharing it to their partner to be like, "Hey, look at my
Yeah,
cool hair,"
yeah, yeah.
or
Yeah,
"How look at this silly meme. This is what happens in the barber shop." Something like
yeah,
that, I guess. But
yeah,
it's really targeted to men. And one thing is like when you get those ideas, I always find that I try to make it as simple as possible to create that content. Like I don't want to make some extravagant, I just something
wow.
simple that's
Yeah,
easy
yeah,
to
yeah,
develop so that you can, like you said, consistently post because the platform wants people to view your content, and the more content that they view, the more people they'll
yeah, yeah,
direct towards your content and make it easy for yourself. Yeah.
yeah. Do you have a I guess with your business, it's very geographic, isn't it? Like, it's very you're gonna have people that are reasonably close to your
Mm,
shop. Although there was a
mm,
in
mm,
researching for,
mm,
today's podcast, I was looking at a
mm,
couple of really big barbers in the UK, and one of the first
mm,
questions they asked people there are many younger guys coming to this barber, I noticed,
mm.
and so, "How far did you travel today?" And some of them would travel a few
Hours.
kilometers.
Yeah, yeah.
But this
Yeah.
bar was just outside London. Some of these guys are travelling from, say, Manchester and further north in England and even Scotland, driving
Mm,
with their
mm.
mums are taking them to this barber for a
I know. It's
transformation.
crazy.
It's
It's crazy.
a long way to go, and I'm thinking that is such a great such a strong brand to pull people that far,
Mm.
don't you think? So I'm imagining your guys are mainly gonna be what would you say, maybe 50 Ks from the Gold Coast, would it be?
I would say my maximum radius is probably around 50 Ks, which is actually still huge. So that person is driving like
An hour.
an hour,
Yeah, yeah.
to come for a haircut,
Haircut.
which is huge. Like most people are getting their haircuts where they work or where they live, right?
Yeah,
But once
yes.
you develop
Yeah,
the
a lot
brand,
it's convenience, right? Which is why,
Exactly,
when we
exactly.
spoke earlier today, I talked about Barber Industries, which is, like
Mm,
almost a
mm, mm.
franchise barbering brand. They
Yes,
are exclusively in shopping centres because guys haven't got go far to travel. We're in a shopping centre, going to, their doing their weekly shop or whatever, and they get a haircut while they're there.
mm.
Whereas someone more like you, it's more like, "I need to make a special effort to see you," right? I'm not
Exactly.
normally
It's a little bit harder. It's not
a little bit
like
harder.
it is very happy to accept those clients, but yeah, like Peter, the clientele is a little bit different.
Yeah.
My clientele, they similar clients, but yeah, they want to come and get the different haircut with some sort of
Yeah.
specific problem that they have to fix. And
Interesting challenge for you, though, to see how far away you can get people to travel to get a haircut.
yeah, true, true. As it grows, I feel so bad when they come and they say, "Oh, Jay, I've driven I live here, I live an hour, and I've driven oh, I just came and booked and I've driven here to see you." And I honestly feel like, wow, like blown away. Like, why did you do? Just go to the barber down the road, and it just makes you feel special as a
Yeah,
professional in
yeah,
the
yeah.
industry. But every time they tell me, I'm like, man, really? Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, because for a lot of like we talked about transformation, for some of these guys, it might be they felt bad about the way they look on their hair for, like, years,
Mm, mm,
and they're finally
mm,
making a
mm.
decision to trust someone to make that transformation for them, and they're willing to drive a couple of
True.
hours to make that happen, to go to a guy they and I guess that's what the social media is doing for you, that they get to know,
Mm.
like, and trust you, like, out of a meeting you.
Yeah, it's true. Like the comment that I get sometimes, especially with the studio now, is like, "Oh, Jay, I feel like I've been here before," because they can see the videos. A lot
Yeah,
of the
yeah, yeah,
content
of
is
course,
actually
it's like that
recorded in the
report.
studio.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like I've met you before, or I feel like, "Oh, I've been in your studio,"
I
but
I
I
feel like
haven't.
I feel like
It's
I know
like,
you. I feel like I know you already 'cause I feel like
yeah,
I've
yeah,
seen you
yeah, yeah,
already. Which
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
because I looked at a lot of your Instagram content before we did the podcast. I'm thinking, I feel like I
Yeah,
know this guy.
yeah. There's Yeah, there's reviews, there's family stuff, there's funny stuff, there's haircuts,
Yeah, yeah.
so they kinda I think if anything, like if you're not getting the organic like I wasn't getting the organic growth and stuff in the very early days, but it just solidifies your service. So when
Yeah.
you direct people to your Instagram, they look at it and exactly what you said, they're like, "Oh, he can do a half decent haircut.
Yeah, yeah,
Seems
yeah.
like a good bloke. I'll give it a crack."
Yeah, 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 or not. Maybe you're not.
Or not. Exactly.
Jay, that's an awesome story. Thank you for being a guest on the Buddies podcast today.
Well, thank you, Peter. Time went by so quickly. It was good speaking with you. And yeah, thanks for the opportunity to jump on and have some of your listeners listen to me ramble on
Thanks.
about barbering. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Peter. See
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.